my name is Peggy, and for this year's Sprung Festival, I worked on the production of Comfortable in Our Bubbles. I had two roles, both as a lead actor and a costume designer. Comfortable in Our Bubbles is about the tulip panic, an occurrence in 17th century Denmark. When a new breed of tulips was discovered, it raised the price of tulip bulbs, creating what's known as a financial bubble. When it was discovered that the tulips were not worth their value because they died so quickly, the bubble burst. The show follows the lives of three people who were affected by this occurrence. In Bubbles, I played the grower, a farmer who grows the tulips and quickly becomes obsessed with how beautiful they are. Because the show was mostly created through improvised dialogue, I really got to build my character from the ground up. I really wanted to toe the line between what appears to be a practical, sagely farmer and a self-obsessed dreamer who is just taken away by the flights of fancy of these tulips. And what really helped was contrasting scenes where the grower is interacting with another character and scenes where the grower is by themselves and talking to themselves, where it really shows clearly how they just get lost in these flights of fancy. The other thing that really helped my creation of the grower was a book written by Carolus Clusius, a botanist who lived in the same time period that this occurrence took place. In it has all the sorts of things that my character would know. With the help of Aspen Bauhart's, I also selected some quotes from the book that eventually made it into the final product. When first setting about designing costumes for the show, I decided to look at paintings from 17th century Denmark, which is the time period that the show is based on. Because the show's themes and story tied so closely to nature, I did decide to look at landscape paintings, which I noticed followed mostly the same colour palette. Muted shades of green, red, brown and blue, which was eventually what I decided on for the final colour palette of the show. While the story is based on something that happened in 17th century Denmark, my director asked me to create costumes and create a setting that was sort of timeless, that could have happened in any period, to sort of mix the modern with the new. So what I decided to do was make modern costumes with 17th century influences. For my character, the grower, it is somewhat influenced by the new fashion movement cottagecore and half inspired by old Dutch paintings of women, of peasant women, gardening in their long skirts and long aprons. When looking at Dutch paintings, I noticed a very popular style of portrait for men has them dressed completely in black, surrounded by a black background, which has a very lovely atmosphere, a very mysterious atmosphere, and a very dark atmosphere. So that's what I eventually chose for the pamphleteer, and that's what inspired his black suit and blue shirt combo. For the character of the speculator, what I really wanted to focus on was this sense of poverty and of neediness, which is why I put him in a double denim that was somewhat inspired by Dutch paintings of the sea and of the rocky weather, which sort of indicates the rocky times his character is going through. One of the challenges for creating the costume design for Bubbles was the fact that many of the actors were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kilometers away from each other, and I sort of had to build costumes and costume design out of pieces from the wardrobes of my actors and execute my vision with what I had. This is a sort of challenge that I feel would have been overcome with better planning and better awareness of when actors were leaving so that I could get my designs approved on time and then draw from the closet that I had in Bathurst. But when all said and done, I had a really fun time participating in Sprung this year, and I'm really looking forward to doing it again next year. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a lovely day.